Hello, and welcome to ThinkKB, the automated technical documentation tool designed for IT professionals. Well, originally, I designed this for IT professionals, but as I was using this and playing around with it, I realized that really anyone that wants to create documentation can use this. So it's not really just for IT professionals, but that's where I came up with the original idea. Now, what am I doing today? Today I'm going over, excuse me, sorry about that. Today I'm going over how to set up the extension. Installing this from the Chrome Web Store is the easy part. Getting this ready for prime time and day-to-day use, it's a little bit more involved. It's easy once you understand it, but that's why I'm here to guide you. So it's a little bit easier for you to understand, especially if you're new to all this. So let's go ahead and hop right into this. Now, after it's installed and you open it, you go to the settings cog, you're going to notice that the API key is missing. And this is because this is a fresh install. It's not going to have one here for you. You would have to bring in your own API key. And uh, sounds scary at first, but it's rather simple. Now, depending on what you're using, you should have the option here to get your own API key. I like Gemini, but feel free to pick whatever you want. So if I click on Get Your Gemini Key, you'll see I'm using the free tier here, so it's okay. You don't have to have a paid tier for this. Now, if you're using a free tier, from what I know with Gemini, you might run into, let's say, busy signals or high traffic times, and sometimes requests are not processed during the high traffic times. Now, for myself, I ran into that a few times just because I was doing a lot of testing with this. I'm thinking the average user may not run into this issue. If you happen to have a paid tier, I don't think you'll ever run into those high traffic busy times. Let's go ahead and paste in my API key. Here it says API key is all set. So I can go ahead and close that. And that's really the hardest part is getting an API key. But every vendor is a bit different. And once you get your API key, just paste it in there and you should be good to go. Go ahead and close that. Now, before I dive into demonstrating this for you guys, why would anyone want to use this? Well, if you write documentation all day, you kind of know that it can be quite tedious. Let's go into Google Docs, for example. So if we go here, let me expand this. Traditionally, you would create documentation like this. In my example, I'm going to go to the Fanimation website and try to register for a badge. So if I'm typing all this out, I would do something like this. Let's go ahead and add a title. How to register for FanimateCon. Then we'll have some steps here. So step 1, step 2, and this can be click on register. It would look something like that. And then as you're going through, labeling off steps, then you probably want to take in some screenshots. All right, so you would do something like this. Take a screenshot and paste. And then you have to do that for every step. Now, here I'm just doing quick examples here. Normally when people write out documentation, they probably have a bit more text to type in, but this is just a quick example on how documentation is traditionally written. I'm just going to go ahead and delete all that. Now, let's see how ThinkKB can speed up this process. Now, with ThinkKB, you're going to see a couple buttons here: new session, start recording, and stop recording. New session will uh, ensure that you are starting on, well, a new session. If you had captured steps here, then it would assume that you're in an existing session and try to resume from that. So if you want to be sure that you're writing a whole new document, you want to go to a new session first. Start recording. You're not, this doesn't actually record a video or anything like that. It's, if you press start recording, it monitors your actions, your clicks, and what you're trying to do. And then then when you click stop recording, that's when we can go to the draft section and click generate KB draft, and then it'll create a document for you. But instead of me talking about this, I think it's much better if I just demonstrate how all this works. So I'm going to go ahead and hit start recording. And we'll use the example I was talking about earlier on just registering for a badge. Or in my case, more like checking in on my own registration. But we'll get the idea. So here I already clicked start recording. Register now. I'm going to click on that. And you noticed it captured a screenshot already. And throughout this whole process, I'm not going to type anything in here or anything like that. I'm just going through the motions of what I'm doing. So sign into an existing registration. Sure, let's go ahead and do that. Okay. I'm mistyping my keys because I haven't had enough sleep. All right, let's go ahead and send the code. And let me get my code typed in. If you're going to Fanime, I will see you there. I'm usually there every year. Submit passcode and proceed. And if you notice, as I'm going through this, there's just more and more screenshots getting captured. Now, it looks like there's a lot of screenshots now, but you'll see later when we generate the KB article, uh, it's not going to have all these screenshots since it's trying to predict what you're trying to do and create a document accordingly. Child registrants. Okay, that looks good. Yeah, you don't always have to scroll through this section. I'm just scrolling through this section over here just to show you that my actions are getting captured. And then now I'm just going to stop recording because I think we have enough for a good example. All right, now we can go to the draft area. Earlier, when I did nothing, this draft KB or this generate KB draft button was not active. It was grayed out, but now it is active. So I click generate KB draft. This is where the magic is happening, but this is also the reason why you need to bring in your own API key. Now, since I'm using the free tier, I think I mentioned earlier in this session that the free tier may run a bit slower than paid tiers, and it may run into busy times. Excuse me. Okay, our draft did get generated, and you can see what it's writing. So, like I said, I didn't type anything anywhere into this extension. I just went through the motions, and it was predicting what I'm trying to do over here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and export this to Google Docs. Now, if you clicked copy to clipboard instead, that's fine. Not everyone likes Google Docs, and that's why I have these two options here. Copy to clipboard will allow you to copy everything, including the screenshots, into something like Microsoft Word. But let's go ahead and export to Google Docs just so you can see how all this works. Okay, if this is the first time you're setting this up, this is an authorization screen. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on my own name. And this is a one-time setup. If you've already signed in and into everything and gone through all the authorization prompts, you don't have to do this again. This is just because I'm demonstrating this as a first-time user. Google hasn't verified this app. Now, the only reason why this is appearing in this video is because this is the developer preview of what I created. Whenever this extension is officially published in the Chrome web, or yeah, sorry, the Chrome web store, once it's officially published there, these warning messages will not be there. All right. Same thing with this as well. This other warning message, once it gets officially published, it won't be here. Go ahead and continue. Okay, so now you see down here, the doc is getting created. And here it is, our generated doc. Now, I think this is a thing of beauty because really, all I had to do was go through the motions. I didn't even have to put in any text of my own yet. Now, is this 100% perfect right out the gate? Some people might think that it is, but you know, even if it's not perfect, this is a very good first draft. I'm just being OCD right now and adjusting all the pictures as I'm going through this. Okay, and if you notice, some of these screenshots, it looks like it might not make sense. That can happen sometimes just because some websites, uh, they behave a bit differently. But cool thing is, even if you do notice that a screenshot just doesn't make sense, you can go through all of your screenshots that you have over here, like this one, step 18. I'm going to copy that image and I'm going to replace it with this one. Okay, and there you go. So yeah, all these images can be copied and pasted into another doc as well. So to me, it makes everything a lot faster to do all this. Should we do another demo? Actually, yeah, hold on. Let me go back to the draft. I guess I should show you what copy to clipboard looks like. So let's delete all this. If you go to copy to clipboard, you can see that it actually did pretty much the same thing and got the text and the screenshots in. And, you know, if you did need to replace a screenshot, just go back to your session, find the screenshot that you need. This does take down some history as well. So if you have multiple sessions, you can always click on the session and it'll bring up the screenshots and the actions over here of that session. Okay, I think that is it for today's video. If you have any questions about this extension, feel free to let me know. And again, take care. I'll see all you guys in the next one.